Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring Neolithic characters. Today's character is Pat. Again, we have the farm field box with quartered box inside. That's a Chinese farm field because Chinese farmlands are distributed among households, so there are plotting involved. And yesterday we talked about qi, which was this borders of the plots with two soil symbols stacking up, so a bigger pile of soil to mark as the borderline. And I talked about it's not only uh, the human artificial borderline, but sometimes take advantage of the geographical, the topography of the land at that local point to use that natural curves or borders as the plotting edges. So pad today is another border concept. So yesterday, if we talked about plot, which means the whole piece of land marked by the edges. Today, it's the edges itself. It's the border, and how Chinese express border. And of course, the border came from the farming activity or the plotting. So cutting a piece of land uh, between two different households, and this cutting is expressed by 半 but serves as a sound symbol, but it carries this meaning. It means half. So how do we express half? We have the ox symbol, which is a coordinate, horizontal, vertical, to give you the spatial sense, and then the horns of the ox. So ox as a domestic animal is a major farm, I guess it's a draft animal that helps us to muscle through or provide power of farming activity, plowing, things like that. So ox was, if we know as farmland, farm field, then domestic animal, ox would be commonly known among people as well, right? So ox was here used with the separator, the separation. It's our number eight. Somehow, our number eight is the separation of, I guess, this giving you the sense of something peaked and then going down, or you have one unity and then it becomes into two. So this separation expressed by left and right two strokes with the ox symbol means separating the ox in half. So I'm not sure in the butchering practice you separate ox like right in the middle in a frontal view of the ox. You separate them into two pieces if that is actually a practice or was a practice back then. But Chinese use ox paired with this separation visuals to show you we are cutting something in half. And when we have farm field and have cutting something in half together, that means the bordering practice of cutting this otherwise one piece land in half. So I would imagine that yesterday's qi, we use two piles of soil on top of each other to give you the sense of building a border or boundary. And sometimes it taking advantages of the local shape of the earth to form a border. But here, cutting in half is almost like intentionally. Otherwise, this is a continuous piece of land. I would imagine there would be many, many such land. That's a vast piece of flat land and that naturally formed as should be like one big piece, right? But because of the plotting practice in ancient times that we distribute a bigger piece of land amongst household, so everybody have something to live off, right? That's the major productive unit, the land for farmland. Then we have to, even if by its natural formation, it should be a continuous piece of land, but because of the plotting practice, we cut them, so intentionally separate them in half. And of course, when in actual practice, it would not be just exactly cut into half, right? It's however many pieces that, according to that time's I guess, rule of practice of how each household would deserve, then this cutting will be continuously separating in half, half, half. So basically here it's cutting a bigger piece of land into smaller pieces. So that forms our concept of border. So in contrast to yesterday's 齐, pan, we are still use it a lot. And two examples here at the bottom, 枕畔, 湖畔. 枕 means pillow. Pillow border. So when we say 枕畔, we actually extend this border concept as the side of it. So here we have a 湖畔. Of course, we have 河畔, river side. 湖畔 is lake side. So what do you mean by 枕畔, pillow side? Okay, who would be at your pillow side? It would be your partner. So Chinese have this recognition of this special relationship, a bonding, basically husband and wife. And then if you want to influence, say, the husband, you try to get way with influencing the husband through the wife. And then you would use the pillow side, means it's very intimate, private side of his life. That somebody who is at the pillow side of that person that you want to influence. So that's 枕畔. Interesting, right? That Chinese have this recognition, and we use pillow as a symbol to indicate the relationship in your intimate relationship. Okay, 行无越丝，如浓之有盼. Okay, this is something I learned just in preparation for this episode. I don't use it in my everyday life, but it actually clicked with me because it's such a reasonable philosophical saying. One by one, this is behave, not beyond thinking. So you don't do outside what you planned to do. So you carry out your plan to the T, so to speak. You don't improvise or impulsively do something. You pre-plan and then you carry out your plan. So that's 行无越丝. 如 comparison, as if or like. 农之有盼. This 之 is a connecting word to say farmers practice or farming's practice. 之有盼 with boundary. So apparently farming, you don't farm on your neighbor's plot. You have this boundary, this pan, this borderline of your plot. You stay in your plot. You're going to farm within your boundary. And we use that practice, a farming practice within your plot boundary as the guidance to say, in other situations, when you behave, whatever you are out there to do, you only do within the boundary that you pre-planned, thinking about. So that's a good practice that you don't, yeah. With this practice, you will imagine in today's world, you will always take a shopping list with you, go to the grocery market. You never would go beyond what's on that list. That's what you plan to buy. You don't ever have impulsive purchase in that sense. Okay, so that's a pan. That's lakeside here. I'm showing that's the pan border concept. Thank you for your time. See you another day.